It's 2016. Last season is truly done and dusted, and it's time to get those MotoGP juices flowing again. And on the off-season show, we're going to help you do just that. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, let's start with the basics, namely a bike. So what better to do than come to Gresini Racing here in Faenza, Italy, and build an Aprilia MotoGP machine from scratch. So we've made our way inside into this fantastically clean workshop here in the Gresini Aprilia building. As you can see, we have an engine, we have an awful lot of different bike parts right behind me. We are going to talk you through the entire bike build, but the most important part are the mechanics. And here we are with Alberto Presutti.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. And Carlo Toccafondi. But of course, the nicknames we need to, it's Beto and Tocco. Okay, so you will know them as Beto and Tocco for today. Okay, so Beto, Tocco, how do we start with the bike? What's the first thing we need to get?
The first one is the frame.
The frame. So we build this frame, just the frame or other components before the engine?
Normally other components, but today we are ready with the frame. We can take this frame, the chassis, and we start the job.
Fantastic then. Let's get started.
Okay.
Well, as you can see, we're now just trying to get the swing arm into the back of the bike, but if you follow me along just a little bit, one thing you'll notice whilst Beto and Tocco are working on this thing is already a little bit pre-assembled. So you've already got the rear sets on the bike. So here you can see this is the rear foot peg, got the brake as well. And if you come with me just this way a tiny little bit, you can also see it already has the rear brake caliper on it. Okay, and one of the reasons why, and you're going to see this throughout the entire build, there are many parts that are pre-assembled. This is how they come out of the truck at the races, and that is because if there is some kind of crash, if there is some kind of problem with the bike, then they don't have to assemble every single little part. So now the axle goes in quite smoothly. Yeah. It clicks.
Only one. When the listen click, is okay. Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Perfect.
So next step is to fit the step, the right step with 2 bolts. Tocco already heavy hands.
Mm-hmm.
To
okay.
Footrest.
Yeah, the footrest and
yeah.
So, and we fit the footrest just to make sure they're not moving about.
Yeah.
And, yep. Okay.
So now we put the bottom bolt of the link just to connect the swing arm to the frame on the bottom side. Okay?
Okay, so Tocco, this is one thing you guys are going to see is this really is very pre-assembled. So we've now got the full front end of the bike. So here you have next week on the show you're going to find out exactly what this piece does. Okay, Tocco knows why. Apart from that, you can see here we have, I mean, it's air intake. You've got the handlebars. You've got the clutch lever. You've even got the brake lever on here as well. Obviously the front forks. So this is essentially an assembly which they don't just have ready here for us for filming. This really is. So Tocco, this is in the truck, isn't it? This is in the truck when you're at the race. If there's any problem, you can get this whole assembly and put it in the bike, yeah?
Also, when we have to change the color position, this color, we take off everything, change the color, put again.
Okay, so now it's the bearing in.
And the main special nut, this is very important nut. Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, because keep everything in position.
Fantastic. So
now we have the machine in position to work.
Okay, this is kind of your base setting to get everything now.
Now easy.
now it's easy for you maybe, yeah.
le hai già riconosciute le
Certo.
So that's
L'abbiamo presa, l'abbiamo presa.
so if you have a look, you've got this carbon air intake coming all the way from up there along there, and on top of it, you've actually everything is mounted. So you have the ECU, you've got the dashboard as well, you've got all the cabling. So that's why now you know this is extremely strong. This is very, very strong part. This is now going to be put in place, and then we're ready for some of the bigger parts. So whilst Toko's just fixing that there, I just want to show you one thing. This is something we really don't see very often, an open chassis. You see this here, you see this big hole there. That is essentially where the air comes through. So you have the air intake that we just spoke about, the air coming out through here, and then later on when you see with the engine, this is essentially the engine's mouth where all the air comes in, you know, which is ultimately then produced with fuel into power, right here. Toko's very kindly allowed me to put on the triple clamp. Thank you very much, Toko. Okay, as you can see, this is now just slides nicely over the front forks. I think it's yeah, a little bit of yeah, I can. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. And now we just tighten here and here. Oh, Toko, you can't hide things from us. Yeah, you see, he's gone into autopilot, fixing things. Well, the one thing we just caught Toko doing was he was about to attach the steering damper. You can see it's this particular part here. It was part of the component that we had from the front, and it now essentially just attaches to the chassis. And what this damper does, it's you know, when you sometimes see the guys coming out of a corner, the bike will want to do this, okay, what they call a bit of a tank slapper. If you don't have this on there, it can be extremely violent, okay. So this just dampens it ever so slightly.
Yeah. Also, this have the system for regulation.
Ah, okay, so you can regulate exactly how much damping you want on there. Fantastic, boys. So what's next on the agenda?
Next step is the main harness.
Ah, your
try-
favorite subject.
We go on the correct position inside the frame just before put the engine inside the bike.
Ah, fantastic. Okay, so this is now where we're going to see the actual wiring fixed to. Okay, as Beto just told us, really careful with the wires, because there's obviously a lot of heat generated with the engine via the exhaust, and obviously you don't want any of the harness touching that, because that can damage it. And you know, as they've told us before, any kind of just one little pin, any kind of wire out of place, and that can mean the bike just stops.
So now we put the seat. Okay, Toko, go with bolts.
And the seat essentially goes on now because a lot of the wiring goes into the seat, yeah?
So we can prendi delle fascette. We finish the tie wrap position, then we close with the cap. No?
Okay.
The seat cap. In case it's not in the position, we destroy. So
Right.
fine when you are sure, push and turn.
Okay. Well, I've got to do this right now, so this is still a bit of delicate work. We put this cover on the back here. It just sits on top. Perfect fitting there. Let's start on this side. Let's push. Oops.
Mi stai mandando?
Okay, click.
No.
Basta
Yeah,
che non
yeah.
l'hai fatta fare alla seconda.
Ah, bene. Yep, perfect. First one done. No, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Didn't break it. Good.
You have a future like a mechanic.
Excellent.
So now it's time to fit the engine on the frame. First step, we take the engine, we put on the bench.
Okay, we do that by hand, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So me and Toko, our strong man.
Right, okay, you're the strong boys. I'll leave it up to you. Okay, so Edo, this is now one of the more important parts, shall we say, getting the engine in place, but also making sure that everything's...
The wire don't touch or don't destroy between the frame and the engine during the going up, and hold by the hand to engine to have the crash on the bench.
Right,
The space is not too much. Every parts go.
We start,
Right, okay, yeah, so really fine work, no, millimeter precision.
and step by step we check what are we doing. Now we put on the chain on the first sprocket.
So Toko, the only one long engine bolt, the other ones are all...
This is now is only for position.
Ah, this is just for position.
Yeah,
Not
to
like.
not have the crash, because believe
Tira su un po'.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what Toko is doing now, this is now a special bolt which essentially moves the engine into its correct position, because even how it is now, as you saw, we didn't tighten everything fully, but what it's doing is it's essentially moving it into the correct position, and then once it's there, then we can tighten all the other ones, and then it's fully in place. Right. Fortunately, Stefan won't actually be going on track with this machine, so don't worry about that, okay? Okay, Beto, so we've already connected the wires into the frame, but now that the engine's on there, now...
the main harness for the engine. Toko.
Right.
So Toko, both of those already have the lambda sensor. Yep. Okay. So this is the sensors already in place on the exhausts we have at the front, and again some wiring coming off the front. Oh, look at that. So now, obviously, you've just seen this thing has the exhaust has just been slipped into place. Now, to hold them in place, we just need some springs, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
You can put, and you can pull with this special tool.
Okay. All right. I hope I don't make myself look too stupid now. Oof. There's a lot of force on them. Yeah.
You want to go by?
Yeah, please.
Please.
Thank you. Here at the back, we're then going to finish off, and this one's slightly easier because a little bit more space. You hook it underneath and actually pull up. So that's the exhaust system in place.
Put the rear shock in position. So,
And we don't need to take off any of the paddock stands for this. No. I didn't realise that you actually get movement here. Okay, so this is then the air pressure system for the pneumatic valves just going onto the engine. Again, very fiddly, lots of pressure, so real expert work going on there. And after we do this, then it's going to be Toko the radiator, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Don't stop, don't stop.
Okay, so these are now the injectors, and on top, this big carbon thing which you see is the airbox. Do you remember the hole we showed you earlier? Essentially, these sort of these lips essentially go right onto there, and that's where the air is going to be coming in. It goes into the airbox. Obviously, airbox design, how the injectors work, such intricate detail. So we couldn't really film down into the engine to show you that. But of course now. Toko is now connecting cables?
Yes.
Yep.
This one?
Okay. So again, more of the electrical system, so many cables because everything has its little sensors, everything is controlled electronically. This one on the outside, okay here?
This is the fuel.
Oh,
Fuel
that's
tube.
it's not a cable, it's where the fuel goes.
More pipe.
Okay, that's a cable. All right. Okay, so injectors on, and now
Fuel
Now,
tank.
fuel tank.
fuel tank. And I think this will be really interesting for viewers because many people can't really visualize where the fuel is. Many people think this is the fuel tank, but of course, as you've just seen, the riders pretty much sit on the fuel tank.
Okay, now it's time for the seat and the fuel tank cover. The seat, sleeping position.
That's so much simpler than my bike. Okay, so we're still missing a little bit of fairing, but before that, we're now, because we've got a bit more space, going to put the wheels on the bike. This, now the axle going in. Okay, so now we're going to put on the brake calipers. Obviously, they go on afterwards. Okay, and now finally, we just check the front brake. One hand on the lever, one on the wheel, bit of moving, touching the lever as it's going round. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so now that I've done a little bit on the front wheel, they've now said it's my turn to do the rear. Okay, thank you very much. Grazie. Now, I guarantee you, if you've ever done this on your road bike, might just be mine, but it's an absolute pain to get in. So, but here, as you see, if you just come along quickly, remember what we said at the start. You've already got the caliper fixed to the swing arm. So, how do I get past it? Okay. All right. This is where you have it.
Now remember rails on the bottom. Okay.
Rails on the bottom.
Take care about the disc inside the pads. Perfect. And go.
Go.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, with a little bit of help
You are
from two
ready for-
mechanics, it's easy. Yeah.
You are ready for the Q2 session.
Okay.
Turn. Turn. Okay. Up.
This is more strong than front one. Eh? Okay, vabbè.
Just one. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. We're now really in the final stages, so this is the important part for the looks of the bike, shall we say. This is the front fairing, the aerodynamics, not much left to go. Right, so, slide on. Does this go inside or, inside, yeah? In. And now, the final bolt we're going to turn on this bike. Done. So we've now come to the end of the build, and now you've really seen how a MotoGP bike is put together, and we've got to see a big thanks to Beto and Toko. Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome.
Really helpful, so interesting, and
you.
considering you guys do this job so fast every single weekend, I mean, you know, I was very slow, but do you think I might have a future as a mechanic?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, we go in office to Grzini to talk about.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let's go and chat with Fausto now, but let's go and have a coffee first, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, boys.
Ciao.
Ciao, grazie.